Hello everybody. So today I'm just going to go over a networking challenge. So this is called Route Me. So just to get right into it, I'm going to start by watching this backstory so I know what's going on.
We had a little issue regarding delays with the food container production. Following this issue, we made several changes in the company's network topology. We added new networking devices and modified the permission configurations. You're probably wondering, what now? Well, now it's your turn. As our security specialist, you need to double-check that all our modifications are safe and sound. We don't want to interrupt the production process, so we will give you an exact replica of the network and access to R2, the password, and the username. Go through the following.
Go back. No, I'm definitely going to need this password and username. So a lot of things that I do like to do, if I see something that I will potentially need later on, which a password and username, they're not going to tell me this if it's not going to be relevant. So I like to go into Notepad and type in very important things that I will need in the future so I don't have to remember it. I can just go back to it when I need it. And username.
The username. Go through the following steps to speed up the process. First, find a way to compromise the router and access the global configuration mode. Then, modify the router's configurations to enable access to the web server in the management network from the TAP database backup server. And finally, verify that the web interface of Web Service Internal can be accessed from TAP database backup. We need this check to be made ASAP. We are counting on you.
Okay, so going through this, I'm going to read everything on the side as well to give me as much information as possible. So recent reports regarding delays in food container production of the plastic inelastic company led to several changes in the company's network topology. The topology modification includes new network devices and permission modifications. As the company's security specialist, you were requested to verify the new topology and hierarchy were established securely. And when considering the various cases, your main concern was a compromise of the main router in the network. So the goals for this challenge: to perform a security evaluation without interrupting the production process. So they provided us with an exact replica of the network and access to R2, which will be router 2, using the username and password. So to find a compromise in the router and access global configuration mode. So for those of you that are unaware, global configuration mode, it is your admin privileges. It is just like using the sudo command in Linux and Windows. There's not a specific command. I can show you real quick if you do ever need to access any sort of administration modes in Windows. What am I typing? PowerShell. So with Windows, you actually have to right click on PowerShell, or you can use the regular command prompt, and this is how you run as administrator. So if you need anything where you need admin privileges, this is how you do it on Windows. And now the third goal, so modify the router configurations to enable access to the web server and the management network from the TAPDB backup server. And then verify that the web interface of web server internal can be accessed from TADB backup server. So basically just making sure everything connects as like the way it's supposed to work. I'm going to go over here and I'm going to start this challenge. I'm going to go back to this page really quick. So this right here, I always like to reveal the hints. So the hint right here, password encryption algorithms can be problematic sometimes. So this lets me know there's probably something to do with the password in there that's going to help me progress in this, or that's going to be the issue. And then if you do need help reading any amount of terms, so a lot of this stuff over here on the side, they give you some basic terms if you don't already know them to help you out. I mean, I'm just going to go back. I don't particularly need those. Okay, so after going through the startup prompts, I am now in Packet Tracer. So this is in the Cisco environment. So what I'm actually going to do before I start, I'm going to take what I have in these notepads right here. That way I don't have to keep on going back and forth. I'm actually going to use a little notepad right here. That way it's just going to make my life a lot easier. So this right there's a notepad, and this, look at this, brings you back to be able to click on any of the prompts in here. Now, whenever I'm doing any sort of challenges or just doing any sort of projects, I just like to explore a little bit just to see, basically just doing a little bit of recon. So I'll click on things like, okay, so I can't get any computers. It seems like the switches and the computers are all locked off. And so let's see if I can get to the main switch. I am not allowed to. The router should be able, okay, able to get into the router. Let's see, DB backup server. Then I'm assuming this, I probably won't be able to get into the switch or these computers over here. It was good, and there was a down for me. I can't even get into the internal server, which is, I thought I would at least be able to get into the internal server, but I suppose not. So I know with this, it does want me to look into the router itself. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get into the router, get to the command line interface. And first, I'm going to use the username and password. So Smith, AYK. All right, I'm in now. So now what I'm going to try to do now is get the global configuration mode, because that was the first step. So to get to global configuration mode, the first step you got to do is type in enable. And it is prompting me for a password, which is good. It should always prompt you for a password if you're trying to elevate your privileges. And this is probably not going to work, but I'm going to use the password that's already provided. And just like I thought, that password is not going to work. So what I have to do, I do have to find a way, like it was telling me, I do need to find a way to get into global configuration mode so I can get all the admin privileges so I could check the configuration of the network and see how everything is working. And the other thing I do actually want to do, I am very curious. I know it mentioned trying to make sure everything can communicate. I actually am going to see if the external server and the internal server can actually communicate with one another. I'm going to do ping 192.168.1.5. Okay, so destination unreachable. Okay, so that makes a lot of sense now. So we can't even, the external internal server aren't going to communicate. So this is what we do have to figure out, how to get them to communicate with one another and reconfigure the settings and through router 2. So what I'm going to do now, I'm actually just going to do something real quick. Show running, spelled that wrong. Oh, dang, I need a dash there. Show running config. So this, I just want to be able to see if there's anything I can find. And the first thing I do spot is actually right here. So this is obfuscated password. It is not encrypted by any. It is not encrypted or anything. It is just obfuscated. So this isn't some sort of hacking challenge where I'm trying to break encryption. It looks like I'm just trying to figure out exactly what this password is so I can get the elevated privileges. So what I'm going to do, just to make my life a little bit easier, I don't think I can copy this. I'm going to try though. Yeah, it's not going to let me right click and copy. Control C, that just exited me out of that. So let's just retype that command in again. Okay, so I'm going to have to do this the hard way because Cisco likes to make my life hard. So 08. And when it comes to a lot of these challenges, the whole point of them is to at least attempt to do it on your own. If you can't figure it out, it's not an issue. Just try everything in your power to try to figure it out. Because that's the whole point of these, is you actually knowing what you're doing. It's not trying to do a copy and paste type of method. Okay, I found another one right here. So username Smith, privilege 2, password 7. So this, if I had to guess, that is the username Smith. This is going to be his password. It's just obfuscated. But as a just in case, when I decode this password, I'm just going to decode that one as well, just in case I do need it. I'm pretty sure it's the same exact password that we already put in, but just to do all my due diligence. 200E. Did I type that wrong? 0805 4D 908 200E. Okay. Okay, I'm all good there. I'm just gonna go through the rest of this, see if there's anything else I could spot, or anything else that may look a little bit odd. Okay. So when I scroll through all this, I do see both of these, and this actually makes a lot of sense now. Why, when I tried to communicate from this server and going through the router, the switch, the other switch, all the way to the internal server, why they weren't able to communicate to each other. It's because the connection between them is shut down. So what I want to do now is I want to not have that shut down. So I'm going to do some simple commands. After I do figure out what the password, first I do need to get global configuration mode to get to elevated privileges. Otherwise, there's nothing I can do. And right here, see interface VLAN 1, no IP address, shut down. So that's exactly what I mean. It's all shut down, so they can't communicate while they're shut down. So let's get past this, see if there's anything else I see. All right, so that's the end of it. So the next thing I'm going to do is, one, I need to figure out what that password is. So I'm going to go to Google real quick. That way I can figure out exactly what that password is, and hopefully that lets me actually get to the global configuration mode and get the admin privileges. So I'm going to go here. So what I'm going to do, this is why I do love putting things in my notes, because it makes life a lot easier as opposed to just going back and forth. And let's see what it comes up with. Okay, so the actual password for this is Kali Bali. I'm going to do over here. Put that there. And then I'm pretty sure this is just the password that we used to even get into the router. But just to double check it. Yeah, just like a DAYK. Let me see. Let's go back to this real quick. Yeah, I'm just going to edit that part out. Yeah, so it's very close. So I'm actually very curious. Did I just type this in wrong? Because as close as that was to the actual password, it'd be very weird to have two passwords that similar. So 0805 4D. Oh, okay. I missed a. And that's why you double check everything. It's a simple mistake. If I got this top one wrong, then I would not have gotten this password, and I'm still going to double check it just to make sure that I do have it right. Yeah, something that simple. You don't even output the correct password with the obfuscation techniques. So 0, okay. So everything else looks right. I'm just going to double check this one as well, just to make sure I didn't mess up there as well. A4D. Okay, so it should be good there. So let me try this again. So from everything I can see, it is most likely just going to be the password that we already put in. And yes, it was. Okay, so let's just go back over here. Move this over. Actually, I'm going to put all this over here, so I don't have to move anything around. should have put it a little bit lower to begin with, but it'll be fine. It's not a big deal. Only takes a second to correct. Okay, now I'm going to get back into this router, and let's get all the way down here. And then now let's try enable again, and password Kali Bali. So I was able to elevate the privileges. Now the next step that I do actually have to do is I do need to get in the global configuration mode. So I need to type in config your terminal. And if you do not want to type out the whole thing, you can just hit the tab key, and as long as that is the most likely option or the only option left, then it will just finish spelling out the correct the rest of the command for you. And now that I am actually in here, now I need to that interface that was shut down, just to double check it one more time. So do show IP interface brief. So this right here, so this shows both of them right here. So it is actually match the IP address. So it is 192.168.1. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to get into there, get into interface. Dang, did I spell that wrong? Let's move that. Ethernet 0-1. Okay, now I'm in there, and the next command I'm going to do is no shutdown. All right, and that should work. So I'm going to try that command again, do show interface brief, and both of them are up now, so they should be able to communicate. So that's exactly what I'm going to check now to make sure that everything does communicate properly the way it's supposed to. So let me see. Let's go here. So it should be working now. Ping 192.168.5. Okay, so that's good. So I was able to boot that back up. So now the external server and the internal server can now both communicate with one another. So this first one, request timeout, that's not really a big deal. But the fact that these last three, it means that these packets, the information is traveling from the outside server to the internal server. So that's very good. So that solves that problem. Okay, can't. So the next thing I'm going to do as well, since I do still need to find the flag, I'm actually going to get into, let's get out of this terminal, get into the web browser. What I'm going to do is HTTPS. I don't believe you have to do HTTPS with this one, but that is just a habit for me at this point. So now I'm actually going to type in the IP address of that router, and it did bring me to this web page. And this right here should be the actual, should be the flag. So what I'm going to do, let's make that a little bit wider. See if I can copy and paste this. Let me see. There you go. Make my life simple. Oh, okay, you did. I am so grateful for that. So now I'm going to go over here, and that should be the flag right there. And yes, so that was a fun lab. I did enjoy it a lot. It just shows you how very basic configurations can shut down your network and make it not operable. So I had a lot of fun with that one. I hope everyone else did as well. And thank everybody for watching. And I'm going to do another video in a few days.